Welcome to Pennypack Environmental Center for our first campfire of the season. My name's Pete Kurtz, and we do campfires here Friday evenings during the warmer months, although this year we will see. And I've never done a campfire before with a mask on, but I hope you like the mask. I'm coming to you from Philadelphia Parks and Rec. Here's our campfire. I just want to remind you all the rules for the campfire. The campfire is mine. If anything needs to be done to it, I will take care of it. And I don't want anybody putting anything into the campfire tonight. And if everybody behaves themselves and you're good during the campfire, you can all have a marshmallow at home tonight. So let me see if this will go up. And it looks like our campfire is going to get going okay. There's many different types of stories that I like to tell. Native American stories I always enjoy because lots of times they deal with animals. This is a Native American tale about bear. And why bear has such a small tail. And the tale goes that long ago, before there were any people on this earth, the animals were here, and the animals could speak to one another. And in those days, bear had perhaps the most beautiful tail of any animal in the forest. He had a long, black, silky furred tail, perhaps about this long. And it really was probably the most beautiful tail of any animal. But of course, bear was also the biggest animal. I mean, bear could get to be 500 or 600 pounds. And he was so strong, he could just turn over a big old log. He could do whatever he wanted, or that's what he thought. And because his tail was so beautiful, he was often bragging to the other animals about his beautiful tail. And sometimes he might even come and swish that tail right in the animal's face. And what could they do? Because it was bear. But they didn't like it, and they put up with it because they had to. But one day, Fox, who perhaps has the most beautiful tail of any animal today, Fox got so fed up with bear bragging about his beautiful tail that he decided he was going to do something about it. And what he did is he waited until just the right time. When the winter winds had blown across the land and frozen all the lakes and ponds to ice, Fox was waiting for bear. And as bear came down the trail heading towards his lodge, he looked out on the pond and he saw Fox sitting out in the middle of the pond on the ice. And when bear looked, he could see something else, and he was curious, and he came out, and when he got close to Fox, he could see Fox had cut a hole in the ice, and there were fish all around the hole, and Fox was sitting with his tail down in the water, and as bear came up, all excited because he loved fish, Fox just went like this. And when he did, all of a sudden he twitched, he pulled up his tail, and there at the end of his tail was another fine fat fish, which he put down, and he stood up and he goes, "Ah, bear, we with such beautiful tails, we can use them to catch fish. Look at the fine dinner I will have tonight." And bear got so excited. He goes, "Oh, I love fish. Could I try fishing too?" And Fox said, "Of course. But as you can see, I've caught all the fish in this hole. Come, friend, let me take you to another part of the lake." And he took bear over to a section of the pond where Fox knew the water was very shallow and there would be no fish. But he took bear over with great ceremony. He cut a hole in the ice, and then he said, "Now, bear, there's a method to this. You have to do it a certain way. Put your tail down in the water with your back to the hole. Close your eyes. Do not think about fish. Do not sing a song about fish. And just quietly wait until you feel the fish on the end of your tail and you pull it up. It's as simple as that." And so bear, all excited, he sat down, he put his tail into the water. He didn't think about fish. He didn't sing a song about fish. And he waited, but after a while, he opened his eyes, he looked at Fox, he goes, "Fox, my tail, it's so cold. I don't know if I feel the fish on the end of my tail." "Ah," said Fox, "it takes some practice. I will help. I will sit and watch. And when I see a fish on your tail, I will just say, 'Now, bear,' and you can pull up your dinner." And so Bear, he settled back down, he put his tail in the water, he closed his eyes, he didn't think about fish, he didn't sing a song about fish. Fox waited and watched until finally he saw what he was looking for. Bear, being so calm, had fallen asleep. And as soon as he fell asleep, Fox gathered up all his fish, he headed off, he cooked himself up a fine fish dinner and went to bed. And the next morning he went back to check on Bear. And overnight it had snowed a bit, so when he came down to the pond at first he didn't see Bear at all. But then he looked and he saw this big white lump over where he had left Bear, and sure enough, Bear was still snoring away, sound asleep, sitting on the pond. And Fox crept down behind him, and as soon as he got right behind Bear, in the loudest voice he just said, "Now, Bear!" Bear woke up, he pulled his tail up, he looked around to see the fish, but overnight the pond had frozen solid, and when Bear went to pull up his fish, he yanked off his tail, and all he had left was the little nubbin of a tail which he still has today. And so it is today. Bear has a very short tail, and still no love for Fox. And that's our stories for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And bye-bye.